Hi, honeys. Happy August. I'm excited it's August. I'm ready for the fall. Do you get that way? It's like every season, I'm ready, like about halfway through, 2/3 of the way through, I'm ready for the next season. And I'm very, very excited about fall at this point. Bring on the pumpkins and the haunted houses and the not sleigh rides, hay rides. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for all the spooky books and the scary movies and I know I get probably a little too excited about things, but that's who I am. So welcome to my August TBRH video. What I mean by that is to be read, hopefully. Last month, I told you I was hoping to read 9 different books, and of those 9, I actually read, sorry, I got some notes down here. I actually read 5 on the list, and I read 7 total. So I think that's actually pretty good. Part of why I was trying to read so many books last month is I was going to be at home in Seattle for, well, it's not really Seattle. I grew up on the peninsula of Washington State, but I thought, okay, I will be reading a lot while I'm there. And it turns out I didn't read a lot while I was there. So it kind of actually slowed my month down a little bit. Oh, no, Marty. Martin. Marty wanted to try to scratch my books again because I have my books sitting in front of me. I don't know that you'll be able to see him in this video. He's down here walking around on the floor beneath where I'm sitting, but Martin, do you want to try to say hi? No? No? Isn't he the cutest thing you've ever seen, though? The cutest little man? Okay, I'll let you go. We need to get you like a little cat stool that you can sit on. A little, maybe I should get him one of those. Have you seen those little seats for little kids that are kind of plush and they have like Cookie Monster on them and stuff? That's what I need to do, is get him one of those. And I can put it right here and he could sit next to me and we can shoot videos together. That might be kind of fun, actually. If I look a little bit more high def, it's because I've got a new camera. I've got a new phone, and my husband, whoo, stop scratching. My husband is very supportive of my YouTube endeavors, and when it came time to get a new phone, instead of getting whatever was free or whatever the cheapest phone was, he wanted me to get the creme de la creme, best camera I could get, and this is the phone that I'm filming on now. So hopefully it looks a lot better to you. Hopefully you like the sound. I'm sorry about the background AC, but I live in Vegas, and when you live in the desert, you have to have your air conditioning on in the summer. It just is what it is. Without further ado, I will get to the books that I plan on reading this month. Okay, Martin, why are you all over everything all the time? Now, I definitely am going to read this book because I'm reading it right now. It's called Blood Like Magic by Liselle Sambury. And this book is so beautiful. I thought, why not just show you the skeleton of the book without the jacket over it? I think it's so pretty as it is. Isn't it gorgeous? This book is the first book in a series, and it just came out. And that's part of why I wanted to read it. Was witches are fascinating to me anyway, and I've been wanting like a fantasy series that I could read, and there's so many of them out there that are so popular, but I wanted one that wasn't as popular, and I wanted one that I could start from the beginning, where I'd be excited waiting for the next one to come out and that kind of thing. Whereas so many of the other fantasy series, I feel like I'm already so far behind. So this book is about a girl named Voya, who's a witch, and she's at that age where she's going to receive her calling from an ancestor. And when she does get her calling, she finds out that in order to get her gift, she has to find her true love, fall in love with him, get him to fall in love with her, and then kill him. And if she doesn't, her entire family, which they're all witches, will lose their gifts as well. The idea of her whole family losing their magical gifts really scares her. It scares her whole family. So there's all this pressure on her to achieve this calling so she can get her gift and everyone else can keep their magic as well. And I just think this is going to be a really good series all the way through. I can see that it will probably go on for a while. I really like the main character, Ware. And I'm about, as you can see, I'm about halfway through the book. I use paper clips as my bookmarks. So that's how I do it. And that one looks kind of bent a little bit, but I find overall the pages end up not being affected at all by it, but I don't lose my place. And I just love doing it that way. So I will give you guys a review on this book at the end of the month. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. And halfway through, I feel like I would recommend it to people to read. So if you're interested in this kind of book and you want to start a new series, you might want to check it out. The next book I don't have here with me. It's my book of the month selection. So I'll put a picture up here and I will just read to you what I have in my notes about this book. This book is about Fred and Sheila Mercer. They're these crazy rich people who have 3 grown kids. And on Easter, they have their 3 kids and their families over for dinner. And that night, after everybody leaves, they get murdered. And it turns out, it looks like one of the siblings might have killed the parents. They stand to inherit a lot of money and a lot of assets. And that's what this book is about. It's about trying to figure out which one, if any of them, murdered the parents. And apparently it's a look into, how well do you really know your siblings kind of thing, which is pretty interesting. I love books about siblings. I've got brothers, and it's just, to me, a very fascinating subject. That's why I picked it. I thought it just sounds very intriguing, and that's what it's about. And I they're all looking at each other, trying to figure out who did it. So it kind of sounds like a Knives Out kind of situation, but I love that movie. Love it. The next one is my, what I try to do is, my book of the month is obviously a new release. And then usually each month I'll buy a new release that I can also read. So 2 new releases. And then all the other books that I have that I read are usually books that are already in my TBR stack that I'm trying to go through. I found that it's making it easier to get through my TBR stack doing it that way. So the other book that I plan on getting is The Family Plot by Megan Collins, and I'm so excited. I love Megan Collins' books. I've got her 2 other books on the shelf back here behind me, and they are both 5-star books for me. She's my favorite new author, and this book comes out on the 17th. Dahlia was raised on a secluded island in a mansion and has never been able to get over the mysterious disappearance of her twin brother Andy when they were 16. Now, years later, after her father's death, she returns to the island with her siblings. After the funeral, the family discovers something horrifying. Buried in the family plot is her long-lost brother's body with his head split open with an axe. She and her other siblings and their mother try to find out what happened to her brother. And that just sounds crazy good to me. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. I'm so excited. It's finally almost here. And I have not ordered it yet. I know there's a pre-order that you can do. I'm kind of waiting for my next paycheck. But on top of that, I feel like there's just something so fun about going into an actual bookstore the day a book gets released and purchasing it. So that's what I plan on doing, is going down to Barnes & Noble. That's the only bookstore near me that sells new books. Actual bookstore as opposed to like Target or Walmart or something. I'm going to go into Barnes & Noble and buy the book, and I'm very excited. Will this be the month that I finally finish Peter Pan? I don't know. We'll find out. But if you want, you can tell me down in the comments if you think I'm actually going to read this month. I started it months ago and I just can't seem to pick it back up. And there's no reason. It was very good. It was very cheerful. And I tend to read dark, mysterious, thriller, horror kind of novels. And so maybe that's part of why I'm having such a hard time. Maybe it's just too happy and there's not enough angst. I don't know. But hopefully I will get to finish this book this month. Hopefully. Now, summer is almost over, as I just mentioned, and since this is the last full month of summer, I thought it would be a good idea to try to sneak in 2 books that have somewhat of a beach read / summer theme. But I really love my mysteries and my thrillers and horrors and all that stuff. So I thought, why not pick up one of my rereads? I haven't read this book since I was, 16. R.L. Stine's Fear Street, Party Summer. It's a super chiller, and I'm not very good at paraphrasing the synopsis of books, so I'm just going to read the back of this to you. Carrie Taylor and her 3 friends look forward to Party Summer. Working at the Howling Wolf Inn, an old hotel on a tiny island off Cape Cod. But to their dismay, the hotel is completely deserted, and someone warns them to leave immediately. The mysterious owner, Simon Fear III, allows Carrie, and her friends to stay, giving them the run of the hotel. The 4 teenagers are thrilled, until they realize they have been put up in the haunted wing, until Simon's weird and frightening brother appears, until they hear a woman screaming, "No party, please, no party!" and until the walls and faucets begin to drip with blood. When Simon Fear is murdered, Kari and her horrified friends want out, but they can't escape. They're trapped on the island, and that's when the party begins. Sounds fun, right? And this book isn't too terribly long. It's 215 pages. I wonder if this is one of the R.L. Stine things on Netflix right now. Have you seen any of those? Are they good? Are they worth watching? Do you know if this is one of them? The Party Summer. And then the other beach read that I wanted to go ahead and dive into has been in my TBR stack for quite a while. It's The Rumor by Elin Hilderbrand. Let me know if you've read this. Basically, from what I understand, it's about 2 best friends and their families who spend the summer in Nantucket together. But this particular summer, a rumor gets spread and things run amok. And to add to the enjoyment of this rumor, the truth is actually worse. And that's all I know. So I will try to read it. It will be my first Elin Hilderbrand book. The next book that I'm hoping to read is Ruth Ware, The Death of Mrs. Westaway. I actually found this book a couple days ago at a thrift shop for 50 cents. And I kind of had to get it. It looks good, or at least the cover looks good. That was what drew me in, was the cover. I just think it's very beautiful and kind of like it really draws me in. I have no idea what it's about though. There is no synopsis on the back. But what I did see that got me intrigued was this comment about the book. You know how they have all the little quotes about the books? If you've been pining away for a first-rate gothic murder mystery for the past 40-odd years since Agatha Christie's passing, hie yourself to your local or online book vendor for Ruth Ware's The Death of Mrs. Westaway. It has everything you're looking for. Atmospheric and twisting in a very Christie-like manner, The Death of Mrs. Westaway is guaranteed to keep you flipping pages well past your bedtime. And you know I love books that give me insomnia. I did enjoy the woman in cabin, what was it called? The Woman in Cabin 10. I really did like that book. And I'm hoping that I will like this book just as much. The book is 368 pages. I just thought it'd be a really good way to kind of slide into the feel of fall. My plan is to read some more mysterious, kind of dark books in September and October. And I thought this might be a really good book to transition into that mood. And the last book that I have on my TBR stack for this month is Grave Surprise by Charlaine Harris. If you've been watching me for a while, this is no surprise to you. I plan on reading a Charlaine Harris book every month for the foreseeable future until I have read all of her books. That's the plan. I'm just going to read the synopsis on this one because, like I said, I'm not very good at paraphrasing. And this is the book, though, that I mentioned in another video that actually ended up coming to me. I've got it on Better World Books, and it actually came from the library I used to go to growing up. Kitsap Regional Library in Kitsap County, Washington is where I went. And I think that's hilarious that it found me here in Las Vegas all these years later. At the request of anthropology professor Clyde Nunley, Harper Connolly and her stepbrother Tolliver come to Memphis to demonstrate Harper's unique talent in an old cemetery. Nunley is skeptical even after Harper senses and finds two bodies in the grave beneath her feet, one of a man centuries dead, the other a young girl recently deceased, whom Harper had once tried and failed to locate. But Harper's new investigation into the crime yields yet another surprise. The next morning, a third body is found in the very same grave. So, you know, I'm sure that I will enjoy this book because I just love all of her books. It's 295 pages long, and I definitely think this will help me ease into these spooky fall Halloween kind of books. So hopefully I'll read this closer to the end of the month, or maybe if I really get lucky, I can read the next book after this in the series too. Maybe I could do 2 Charlaine Harris books in 1 month like I've done in the past. We'll see. Please let me know down in the comments what books you are going to be reading in August. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. I love you. Bye.